Hello guys, I am Brandon Carey, and today we will be playing, hopefully, the finale of LA Noire. There are, according to my records, 2 cases left. This one is DLC case.
Any news from Jack? There's a statewide APB out on him.
Jack's okay. He has something up his sleeve. He's not worried about being caught.
How do we help?
We go after the other side of the equation. Jack has a legion and its cronies running scared. We go after the doctor and some of the other guys.
With the whole department breathing down our necks.
It's time for action, Herschel. It's time for change. Jack's crossed the Rubicon, and we have to be on the other side ready to help him.
Christ, what was that?
Explosion. Something big.
You think it's the Reds? You think those Rusky sons of bitches that dropped the H-bomb on us?
Calm down, Herschel. We need to be ready for the call.
I'm not waiting for an invitation. Get in the car and head for the cloud. KGPL can give us the details on the way.
All units, 2077 report.
All units, reports of an explosion. Location, alternative location, it's south of Santa Monica, west of, stand by for further. All units, car 88K reports an explosion.
So as you can see,
Repeating, 88K is reporting an explosion.
this is a DLC.
Downtown.
This DLC case was presumably cut because probably for the right. Probably didn't cut too because it really does kind of break the flow of the finale. Like you're getting ready to resolve the
We have
big.
looters around the corner. Cuff them or put them down. We need to get this area under control.
You don't shoot at cops, you little prick! Get that bastard, Cole! Now ain't the time to be looking for a profit, asshole! You sorry
So, yeah, this case does kind of break the flow. Because you are really, like, you're gearing towards the finale. Jack's already, like, closing in on everything that's going on, and suddenly we cut to do this
Jesus.
case.
I never seen nothing like
That is actually completely superfluous to the
Wish
main
I could
plot,
say the
so it
same.
makes sense that they cut it and,
Like a
and
bomb's
gave and
gone off.
put in later as DLC.
Jesus Christ. Poor people.
We gotta find out what went down.
You're late, Phelps. Get delayed somewhere?
What in God's name happened here?
Wasn't nuclear. If it was, we'd all be dead from the radiation.
That's reassuring. What's radiation?
Everyone inside the factory was vaporized. I mean, look at the size of that crater.
What's going on over there?
The mayor is going on television, appealing for calm.
Television. Who can afford one of those things?
Anything to go on?
You're looking at the remains of Nicholson electroplating. Have an idea of what might have caused the explosion.
I like the small
I'm only
jokes
guessing. Have a look around the rubble, see if you come up with
about the times where A, we made the joke about what's radiation, and B, people
World's
can't afford
turned upside
television.
down, Cole.
Then it's time for us to do our jobs.
Vaporized. Oh, brother.
And so, this is one of those, like, obviously, it's
That's
a
it, Mr. Mayor. We're wrapped.
Well, good. Thank you very much, son. And you think it went okay?
Couple of hiccups, sir, but that's to be expected. Nobody's ever done this before. We'll get better with practice.
That maybe goes for me too, son. Should have played it a little more somber. What do you think, son?
No, Mr. Mayor, you came across as, very resolute.
Sweet heavens. Oh.
This isn't what we're looking for. That Forvix was a tough break.
And I guess I could see the attention of this case in the original cut, or the original
Hey, detective! I think I got something here.
script before it got cut for time.
Any idea what this is?
A very large egg cup? A Viking helmet? How would I know?
Looks to me like some kind of machine component. An airplane part, maybe.
But it was the right move to remove this from the game, because although it is also like a big explosive case before the finale, the finale was already in effect, and because of the way this case starts, you can't just rewrite the intro because of the motion capture technology. Like you have to reshoot everything too. Like you wouldn't have just be able to rewrite with a new intro scene. You have to shoot it, revoice it, reanimate it. It'd be a very time intensive task. So rather than do all that, it makes sense to just cut it when you realize this is actually breaking the flow of the story. But the fact that it is here as DLC is nice, so that we can see some of the work that went into this game.
Phelps, I think I found something over here.
Superior laundry.
Looks like all that's left. We can try the launder tag.
I feel like we did superior laundry. Like we did superior laundry in a different case. I think in the traffic desk, but I can't really remember. Also, props to your partner for pointing out clues. That's a cool little thing.
Detective, you seen this yet? Come take a look.
Blew the locker open, but shielded the contents. Let's see what we got in here. Any ideas, Herschel?
None that I care to utter for public consumption. What is it?
A substitution cipher. The Germans used them in the war. These are cipher rings.
You know what to do with them?
Maybe. I used them in OCS.
It's not that hard.
These first letters are the cipher key. The rest of the message should align itself.
H equals K. K S B zero or O J L K Q X. Yeah, this is like something you've probably done as a child. It's just replacing the numbers.
It's an address. 133 North Vermont Avenue.
Spy camera.
Only OSS agents use these things. We'll need to get the film developed to see if there's an espionage angle. Tomoko Akamoto. Japanese name.
And I think that's all we investigate in this case. It does give us information. We got an espionage angle and an explosion that's not radiation. That is something else. Something much closer to home. Which, again, this is a decent, like, pre-finale case as a way of just like showing again the period of the times, because with the radiation and the television joke, and also just as a way of like, this is a big event that you were part of as Detective Cole Phelps's like final case in his career, more or less. Because once the finale goes, we are going back to Jack Kelso as our main protagonist. So this might have been also like a last hurrah for Cole in the original script before it got cut because of the way because of time and the way it kind of interferes with the flow of the finale. We got all the clues we need, so I'm gonna try heading out.
I'm Fred Nicholson.
This is your place?
What's left of it. 32 years of work up in smoke.
Can you tell us what happened?
Our chief chemist, Harold McClellan, was using this area to test the new process.
And what exactly is this new process?
That's classified information, son.
Tell us the truth, Mr. Nicholson. You're making bombs for the military, and this was some kind of an accident.
Your pitch is high and wide, kid. Look, we do plenty of work for the military and for aircraft manufacturers, but it's all polishing and plating. There are no bombs here.
I believe him.
It's like I made a mistake.
But I don't care if it's classified or not.
A lot of people died here, Mr. Nicholson. I'm prepared to go to the press and tell them it was your fault. What is the new process?
A way to chemically polish aluminum. It's traditionally done by hand. It's extremely labor intensive. The process could be worth millions.
There we go. Was that so hard?
Who is Tomoko Akamoto?
Dr. McClellan's personal assistant. She came highly recommended.
I don't believe you.
Akamoto was involved in industrial espionage. Was she working for you or for a foreign government?
That's a ridiculous assertion. How can you possibly say she was a spy?
The spy camera.
How many of your other employees carry spy cameras in their handbags?
Can I drop the volume of this music?
Jesus, Mary and Joseph, she was selling me out.
If she wasn't a foreign spy, who could she have been working for?
There could be other plating companies, but the big customers for the process are the aircraft manufacturers. Lockheed, Boeing, Hughes, North American.
Let me see if I can turn the...
Hey, aren't you supposed to be...
Turn the volume down for the music. Okay, that's not gonna go, so... that's annoying.
Taking my statement, officer?
You're right. Sorry about that.
What can you tell us about McClellan?
A brilliant chemist. He approached me a few months ago with the idea for the new process.
So no one has ever done this before?
No, but it's legitimate research.
You sure this wasn't some kind of insurance play gone wrong? Come clean about it, Mr. Nicholson, and it will go better for everyone.
You have some basis for that accusation, do you, Sonny?
No, I don't. That was completely out of nowhere.
Sorry. Sometimes you have to shake
But I
the
also
tree
don't
to
think
see
you're
what
being
falls
completely
out.
honest with me, so...
So you thought McClellan could do what no one else could do. You were prepared to take that risk.
Look, he was a trained chemist, and his ideas could revolutionize electroplating.
And you would be rich.
I'm a businessman. What's wrong with turning a buck?
You blew up 6 blocks. God knows how many people are dead.
I regret that.
That's laudable.
We'll be in touch, Mr. Nicholson.
That's the correct response,
Can you
Herschel.
send us Dr. McClellan and Miss Akamoto's personnel files?
I will if I can find them.
By the way, we also found the collar of a shirt. It has a laundry tag.
They're likely to be Dr. McClellan. The majority of people who worked here don't use a laundry service.
So that gives us a couple of leads to go on, and we do need to make a call at some point.
Fine. But if the skipper sees us driving around in this, we're dead.
No, we're not driving this. You out of your mind, Rust. Oh, sorry, Herschel, not Rusty. You're the good one.
You know the way. You can drive.
And where exactly are we going?
Let's go to North Vermont Avenue. Or you'll just do that, Cole.
You drive. I need to go over the case notes.
You think McGlone went up in smoke? Or is he still alive?
You could ask the same question about Tomoko Akamoto.
I guess you could. You got an answer?
Not yet. But I'm working on it.
At least with the panic, the streets are clear, which makes it easier for Herschel to drive. Goddamn, I won't make that mistake a lot, aren't I? Oh, Gamewell. This would be a good place to make a call.
Detective Phelps, badge 1247.
1247.
How can I help, Detective?
Can you speak to someone at the Army Air Force Base for me, please?
Of course, Detective.
Tell them I have what I believe is an aircraft part. It's polished metal, light for its size, and it looks like a cone of some sort. It's stamped on the inside. P&W Wasp Major R4360.
I'll get back to you, Detective, when you check in for messages. Anything else?
I need an address for Superior Laundry Services.
Closest store to your location is in Wilshire, 4766 Melrose Avenue.
Thanks for your help.
Perfect. And we'll get that later. But right now, we're going to investigate this place. Tomoko Akamoto is the first resident.
Well. Why the cloak and dagger routine, Miss Akamoto?
And door number 1. Okay. Golly gee, I think he's dead.
You think I could fit in there? I couldn't fit in there.
I'd like to think you would have had something more to say about getting shoved in a fridge, Herschel.
Somebody turned the place over. You better watch your step.
One to the head, one to the heart. Point blank.
Someone killed him. John Doe.
On Jeans Lindbergh. Very expensive watch. Favored by flyboys. I always wanted one as a kid.
That's funny. As a kid, all I wanted was some food on the table.
Ooh, that's a strong line from Herschel. That's a strong line. Kind of also, like, it really does show the discrepancy between...
Could be a class ring.
Cole Phelps's, like, middle class / wealthy upbringing, and Herschel's clearly, like, lower class upbringing. And how different their lives are. Which explains why Herschel can be so angry and bitter. Justifiably angry and bitter. Retired LAPD
You know what this is, Biggs?
Sure. The department gives you one of those when you retire.
Because we got a police angle here. I don't think it's anything
Seems
relevant.
irrelevant.
There's a phone we can make a call from. That's some blood. I think it's blood. Might not be blood. Another one of these.
Looks like we have a match.
Interesting dame, this Sakamoto.
Microfilm.
What is it exactly?
Microfilm. A document shrunk to the size of your thumbnail.
Broad must have amazing eyesight.
Well, that's information that we can use. You're gonna leave it there, Cole Phelps?
Biggs, Edge 525. I'll need a couple of black and whites at 133 North Vermont Avenue, Wilshire. We'll need an ambulance in the corner. Probably a team from technical services as well.
I see nothing, no reason to remain here. We got what we needed. I think what we need. Do we have any reason to be here? No, we're done. That crossing out means we're done. So, let's go get our laundry. We're laundering.
You're behind the wheel.
Fine. Where are we headed?
Hopefully this case doesn't take too long so we can actually do the finale. If we do need to go over, we will. It's not going to be a big deal. But I'd rather avoid it if we can. And let's see who owns this laundry tag that we got at the crime scene.
What do you need?
I need your book.
Phelps and Biggs, LAPD. We have one of your laundry tags. Can you tell us who it might belong to?
Are you kidding? I got work to do, Mac. Here's the customer book. Knock yourself out.
That's...
Number was, J2620, Cole.
Who is Hangstrom?
Could be someone else from the factory. Does he have an address?
No. Dead end.
Oscar Hangstrom.
Thank you for all your help, sir.
Mac.
Operator, message for KGPL.
Putting you through now.
Detective Phelps, badge 1247, messages, please.
You need to call Ray Pinker urgently.
Can you put me through?
It's ringing now.
We're on our way in.
Nix that. I got a message from Lindbergh Field. An airplane tech there identified your part.
What is it?
He said it was a prop spinner from either a Corsair or a B-50.
A what?
Fits over the center of the propeller and protects the pitch gearing.
So it's a military part.
Could be, but get this. The Spruce Goose runs 8 Wasp R-4360s. I think you better get over there and check it out.
So now we got...
We're on it.
We identified the source of the
I need
part.
an address for an Oscar Hangstrom.
Checking. No residential listing for anyone by that name, Detective. Sorry.
Thanks, ma'am.
So Oscar Hangstrom is a dead end. For now. But that means there's someone whose name is not their real name.
Can you drive to this one?
At that location.
So where do you want it?
At the electroplating plant. And we have that military angle to go through too with the airplane part. We got a couple of interesting leads for this case. Also,
this is the military project, gentlemen. Can you state your business?
Detectives, Phelps and Biggs, LAPD. We're investigating the explosion. We have reason to believe there may be a link to Hughes' aircraft.
I'm sorry, I can't help you there, Detective. Without authorization from military HQ, you won't be allowed onto this facility.
What seems to be the problem, gentlemen? Hey, Biggs. You're not still with the LAPD.
Right so, mates. Can you help us out here?
Sure. What seems to be the problem?
We're working the big explosion at the electroplating plant. We found a part there that belongs to one of your planes.
I work head of security for Mr. Hughes now. I'll take full responsibility. I'm sure we can clear this up. Follow me. It's the big hangar. You can't miss it.
Who is Mapes, and what's his connection to Howard Hughes?
Vernon Mapes used to work Advice. Word is he runs fuck pads for Hughes' starlets.
A pimp. Earl and Mapes would seem.
Mapes was the role model for creeps like Earl.
Advice. That beautiful piece of shit desk.
Follow me.
Also, just FYI, I said that Mac the thing that he just called people in this era. That was slightly incorrect from the last stream. Mac is a detective or someone who's in charge of security. That's what you would call them, Mac.
Can that thing really fly?
Mr. Hughes believes so. Amazing, isn't she?
Yes, the actual Howard Hughes.
Jesus Christ, Biggs, you want to get me fired? Mr. Hughes hates that fucking name. It's the H4 Hercules to you.
You mind answering a few questions, Mr. Mapes?
Call me Vernon, kid. Fire away.
Do you know anything about the explosion that happened at Nicholson Electroplating this morning?
No more than anyone else. Heard the boom while I was shaving. Almost shit my pants. Thought it was Pearl all over again.
No. You are not telling the truth.
Nicholson Electroplating was working on a miracle process to polish aluminum. A process that was very advantageous to airplane manufacturers. You're denying that you knew about it.
It doesn't matter what I deny, kid. It matters what you can prove. You have some evidence that links me personally with Nicholson?
No, I don't. But
you don't ask, you never find out.
I'm not gonna.
But you had no personal contact with any of the employees. And you have no idea what caused the explosion.
I'm in security. I handle Mr. Hughes' personal interests, if you get my meaning. I'm not directly involved in manufacturing.
Not denial either.
Do you know Tomoko Akamoto?
Never heard of the broad. Why?
I don't believe you. Again.
Akamoto is an industrial spy. She's on your payroll.
A spy, you say? That's very interesting. You have some way of proving she was working for me or Hughes?
The retired Taipin would, in theory, link a retired officer, but not specifically him. So
looks like I was mistaken.
I can't directly make that accusation.
You don't happen to wear an LAPD tie pin, do you, Mapes?
Sometimes. I have a couple of them from my days on the force.
Do you know the chief chemist at Nicholson Electroplating, a Harold McClellan?
I've heard of the guy. He was pitching some fancy process to the company.
Yeah. This Roy Earl jackass.
We know that you were sending parts to Nicholson for testing. Question is, whether you were going through Nicholson or cutting your own deal with McClellan.
Interesting theory, kid. How you gonna prove any of that?
Well, that one I can prove because of the actual part.
We found a prop spinner in the wreckage. We believe it belongs to this aircraft.
We sent them some aluminum parts to test. Howard and the Boffins were interested in this guy McClellan's theories. McClellan was cutting out Nicholson. That's not our problem.
Thanks for your help, Mr. Mapes. Do you mind if we have a look around while we're here?
Sure. Knock yourself out.
You want to take a look inside her? Can't hurt.
Don't pretend to be all excited, Herschel. But yeah, let's look inside the plane. Linseed oil.
McClellan's process was going to replace all this.
The process. The transistor going out to the country. little bit.
Great.
Not a fan of heights, Herschel?
Latitude 24 degrees, 15 minutes north. Longitude 76 degrees, 0 minutes west.
Alright, it's coordinates. But to where?
.76 degrees west. 24 degrees, 15 minutes north. Let's see where this is exactly. The Bahamas. Somebody's already got their maiden flight planned.
So they want to fly the Bahamas first. Interesting information. I guess if you involve like Howard Hughes as like the like one of the most famous robber barons of the era, it does make sense to have this case as towards the end to kind of like, oh yeah, Cole Phelps in his last hurrah, like shoving it to the rich men who control the country, while he enlists Jack Kelso's help to do the same to another group of rich white men who were equally corrupt and probably evil. I'm not gonna sit here and say I particularly care for Howard Hughes. He's also probably a piece of shit. His family was also probably a piece of shit. You are a descendant from Howard Hughes. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, and you can go suck my dick. Oh. Seems like a good place to go, over there, in that little shed. Let's climb down. And go investigate the little security station over there. It's supposed to look like a security station. I could be wrong. Okay. So let's go up here and see what's what.
Looks like Nate's office is in the far corner. Let's see what he's hiding.
Yeah, let's.
Don't think this is anything.
The blue room.
Circumstantial.
You must go with Roy.
That is Marie the Body McDonald.
Does Hughes have her on contract to RKO?
Yeah, I bet he does.
Well, that's certainly a thing. That sounds like Mr. Howard Hughes himself. Or some approximation of him. So... Oh, a gun.
I don't think so.
Guns are always relevant to cases. What are you talking about? Is there anything left to inspect in here? Looks like it. I don't know what. Look around the, these desks over here, see if there's something. Ooh.
Is that a Pratt & Whitney 4360?
Sure is. You know your motors.
Do you mind if I take a look at the prop spinner?
We're getting her ready for sea trials, so be quick about it.
What's the oily covering on the metal?
We coat the aluminum parts in linseed oil to preserve it from oxidization.
Okay. Interesting information.
Let's see what Pinker has for us. He's probably done tinkering with that camera by now.
We done? Yeah, now we're done. We got unknown address and the instruction to go see technical services guy for the microfilm.
Thanks for the tour, Mapes.
Always happy to help the department.
Sure you are.
Hey, don't I know your face from the papers? You're the cop that's stripping that German broad.
Nah, I think you got the wrong guy, Vernon.
You're a good man, Herschel. Don't let anyone ever tell you otherwise. Let's get the fuck out of here so we can talk to Pinker.
You can drive.
All right. Where to?
Again, we're...
So McClellan was selling his new process to Hughes and cutting out Nicholson.
Looks that way. This would never go all the way up to Hughes. You would have middlemen deal with stuff like this.
You sure would.
Someone like Mapes?
The word middleman was invented for guys like Mapes.
Again, we do talk about this, like... We go back to the advice desk again for, like, just another example of corruption at the LAPD. In this case, he's no longer a police officer, but he was. And I almost guarantee you that if he's working for Howard Hughes now, he was involved in some corruption at that level.
Yeah, I want to make homicide. You know you've got it made if you can get to that desk.
Alright, now let's go see tech services.
I got this gadget whiz putting recording devices into the place for me.
Give me just a moment. Alright. Yeah, that was my phone going off.
That's the swine. Look at him.
Hey, Cole. You're not winning any popularity contests upstairs, you know.
Alright, so what do you have to say,
I didn't want
Ray?
to arrest the kid, so I gave him a dusting he wouldn't forget.
Where do you stand?
I think you're a good cop, but I try and stay out of politics.
Everybody tries to stay out of politics, Ray.
Well, don't quote me on it, but I'm hoping that Parker will get the job and clean this place up. I have your photographs. You can use the magnifier. There's quite a lot of detail.
Very funny.
I think you're right, Ray. We have our man. You take a nice photo, Phelps.
That is actually pretty funny.
Ringing the watch are a match for our John Doe. He's obviously the competitive bid. Can you get this over to Lockheed so we can get a name for this guy?
It's already on its way.
Perfect.
Howard Hughes, millionaire, industrialist, aviator, and playboy, and Vernon Mapes, ex-dirty cop and business fixer. I found a similar tie pin along with a dead guy in a fridge.
All right. Ooh, that's the process.
Excellent photography, Tomoko. So Tomoko had the goods on McClellan. Too bad they blew the place to hell.
Yeah, Christ. Hey, Steve.
I never fired my gun.
Is this McClellan? Can anyone make out the street number behind him?
Are you kidding? With my eyesight?
All right. So, let's look at the next photo. Well, there's a good number. You know, when I gave myself that extra time, I didn't think I'd have to use it fixing audio or technical issues. So when my computer hard reset, apparently it stopped treating my headphones as the primary audio output, which it should be, because that's what your feed is. It's the same stuff that's my headphones are listening to. So if you turn your headphones on your computer right now, you're listening to the same thing I can hear. And so for that reason, I was getting it out of the speakers, the audio out of the speakers instead of in my earphones, and you can't hear what's going on through my speakers. So you were hearing on the audio, or you were hearing faint audio as my microphone here was picking up. So that's what happened. Can you at least hear me? Because the audio should be fixed now. For God's sakes, game.
I'm thinking of moving up to a 45.
Let me just unmute. Okay, we are fine. For God's sakes. Let's watch that scene a third time.
He's the cop who arrested that movie producer. It's about time some of those movies.
Because LA Noire's PC port is so
Cole.
well made.
You're not winning any popularity contests upstairs, you know.
Ha, funny joke for the third time. Funny joke. You're a funny man.
Where do you stand?
I think you're a good cop, but I try and stay out of politics.
Everybody tries to stay out of politics, Ray.
Well, don't quote me on it, but I'm hoping that Parker will get the job and clean this place up. I have your photographs.
Well,
You
that
can
is
use
a
the magnifier. There's quite a lot of detail.
Very funny.
I think you're right, Ray. We have our man. You take a nice photo, Phelps.
Ringing the watch are a match for our John Doe. He's obviously the competitive bid. Can you get this over to Lockheed so we can get a name for this guy?
It's already on its way.
Let me check my audio.
It's already on its way.
Let me check my audio. Oh.
Howard Hughes, millionaire, industrialist, aviator, and playboy. And
Sounds
Vernon
fine to me.
Mapes,
It might be on something on your
ex-dirty
end, Steve, because I don't
business
see any audio issues on my end when I'm listening to when I watch the stream. That's how I check. I just watch the stream on my end.
I found a similar tie pin along with a dead guy in a fridge.
Because I am hearing it out of my headphones now. I'm doing my best to verify all this. So it should be fine. This wouldn't even be
Excellent
an issue
photography, Tomoko.
if the game
So
just
Tomoko had a
wouldn't
good time with
crash my system.
Too bad they blew the place to hell.
It's really annoying.
Is this McClellan? Can anyone make out the street number behind him?
Are you kidding? With my eyesight?
All right, so let's continue.
I got this gadget whiz putting recording devices into the place for me.
Now we have
me with a little experiment? Use the eyedropper in front of you. One drop from each of the bottles on the desk. Place the drops in the petri dish.
Another one of our little experiments.
I want to make comments.
It's okay, guys. Just a little experiment.
Can you guys knock it off? Everyone's still jumpy from that bang this morning.
Very funny, Ray. You just took a couple of years off my life expectancy.
Did the same trick to me about an hour ago.
So that was the stuff that caused the explosion.
I think so. Acetic anhydride is almost as explosive as nitro, and when mixed with perchloric acid, it's very unstable. It needs to be cooled constantly.
That's not.
Linseed oil,
That's
you could add
not.
an organic compound to trigger an
This
explosion.
Dream Steam. That's the Steve. That's the game's audio balancing.
were
You're having an
using
objection
100
to.
gallon
Which yes, you should have an objection to that. It's badly audio balanced. But That is the game and not my stream. They're muffled because the game is muffled, and they're louder because the game is louder. It's nothing I can do about that. That's literally just the stream or the game. And let me pick up my hat. And now that we have the source of the explosion that we started with,
That bum took a swipe at me. I put him down with my sap.
Did you see his lovely wife and children in the paper? What a rat.
Yep, that's us, Cole Phelps, good guy. Why was this case so poorly done, or why was this person so poorly done? Is because
You know the way. You can drive.
Rockstar apparently couldn't code on the PC in the early or late 2000s. Actually, this is 2011, so early 2010, early 20-teens. Got another house to go to. This is the house in the photograph.
Place stinks of petroleum.
Someone tried to...
Have gas, if I'm not mistaken. It's all around the floor.
Don't light a match in here. Or you'll burn this place down.
Hangstrom is flying today on TWA.
The Bahamas.
Angstrom is dead, Cole. Why leave your ticket behind?
Maybe just cleaning up. Hangstrom and McClellan are the same man.
The gas, Cole, the gas! We gotta get out of here right now! Look, by the stove! Shoot the gas line, Cole, we're out of here!
This is a way to go. So looks like our former vice cop tried to kill us.
Fuck. There you are, shitheel. Come on, he's not getting away from us.
Yeah, ex-vice cop, you know. Those swell detectives from Vice who are never corrupt. Out of my way, jackass! Oh. Hello. Thanks for announcing yourself.
Closer, Phelps. Lay into his wheel well, come on.
That tire looks like it got killed. You're a goddamn menace. Luckily, you weren't hurt. I mean, we remember the advice desk is the most corrupt desk of them all. We had, like, Roy Earl was our partner during the vice desk.
Stay on mates. Knock them off the road if you have to, but stay on that fucker. No! You gotta get me closer!
Get off the fucking road, asshole. Oh, this car is useless. Okay. Stop. I'm taking your car. Fuck. Yeah, our car got toast. We're done. This chase is over.
Out of the car. Police.
You sure you're a cop?
Hurry, Rusty. Or don't. Wow, that's the first time I've ever had my car break down in the middle of a chase. Let's do this again. Let's restart this because I'm just gonna do it the way I did last time because it seemed. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh, I'm not doing this. If that's if what I think happened, I'm probably just calling it a night. Whew. Oh, thank God. Thank God. I was afraid I was gonna do the whole case over.
Gas, if I'm not mistaken.
If that was the case, I was going to just like end the stream and I'd be too pissed off to continue.
Hangstrom was flying today on
Whew.
TWA.
Save.
Hangstrom is dead, Cole. Why leave your ticket behind?
Save.
Just cleaning up. Hangstrom and McClellan are the same man.
The gas, Cole, the gas! Look, by the stove! Shoot the gas line, Cole, we're out of here! Fuck.
Alright. Now, where do we leave off? Coming for you, asshole.
It's no good! We need to get closer! Lay into his wheel well, come on!
Shoot him! Oh my God. God damn it. I hate these games' chase missions. These are not very... Oh no, I lost you. Goodbye. No, I might actually have a chance. Yeah, I somehow got ahead of him during the chase, which is amusing. Or...
Shit. You security men, Cole. Stay on mates. Knock them off the road if you have to, but stay on that fucker. I can't hit a target that isn't there, Phelps.
Out of my way, asswipe.
I'll try to shoot out his tires. Wish me luck.
Where are you going, buddy? Where are you going? I hate this. I do not like chase sequences in video games. I am a much more... Okay. Bye, guy. I believe he leads us to the aircraft hangar from earlier. Alright. We're going for a shootout.
Stop right there. Get out of the car slowly. Fire a warning round.
Do not care if I'm shooting military
We're gonna
police.
have to go through all the security men first. I hope you're ready for a fight, Cole.
Yeah, you're not making out of here alive. There we go. Stand up again. There you go.
Find some cover.
I got you.
Okay. Oh, behind us. Wonderful. I'll take that. Thank you.
This one's got your name on it. Pretty brave for a dead man. Throw out the guns.
How long do you think you can hold out?
There you go, Cole. How long do you think you can hold out? There we go. How long do you think you can hold out? That's the Cole Phelps I know. The one who asks how long they think they can hold out. That's a lot of armed dudes. Holy shit. Getting cover. Oh, I can't take cover here, I guess. Well, okay. There's a lot of guns in this area. One LAPD officer versus an Army of Private Security. Who wins? Apparently, the one LAPD officer. He's down.
He's there! Right there! Kill him!
I'll come to you.
Lay down some covering fire.
I'll come to you. What you running for? What are you running for? Down. You'd think after the 10th or 15th guy they'd stop coming.
So the guy at the chemical plant,
planning on selling his magic formula to another company and skipping town with his assistant, but he blows himself up before he can manage it. So why the dead body in the refrigerator?
Mapes, Captain. He was eliminating all competitors for the process. When it went bang, he burnt down the apartment to remove all connection between Hughes and the plant.
Mapes, right. I remember Vernon Mapes. The guy had good, honest cops hanging their heads in shame. Glad he's finally out of commission. I don't know if it'll do you any good, Phelps, but between the spruce goose and half the city exploding, you might just have made the case of the decade.
Very nice. Thumbs up. The big unfriendly Achievo unlocked. And I believe this will head us into the final case of the game.
Good morning, Doctor.
Yes.
Good morning to you too, Elsa. You look radiant.
Weirdly out of focus camera. Okay, there we go.
Seeing much of you lately, Elsa. You've been missing appointments.
I'm sorry, Doctor. I've been feeling much better.
That's very good to hear. And what has brought about this improvement?
It's the new man in my life. He's convinced me to fight my addiction.
Ah, the policeman from the newspapers. How has he coped with his fall from grace?
He can finally see things from a human perspective, rather than the ivory tower he created for himself. It's making him stronger. It's making me stronger helping him.
You wouldn't make a bad analyst yourself, Elsa. Should we swap seats?
We're both finding we have a lot to live up to.
And what is that?
In my case, Lou. He went through hell along with me. Still came out smiling. In Cole's case, his friend, Jack Kelso.
Kelso?
You've heard of him?
No, I just like the sound of his name.
Cole and Jack are working
Uh-oh.
on this together.
Is Jack a policeman too?
No, he works for the district attorney.
What?
He's a special investigator. I thought you didn't know him.
I have never met the gentleman in question.
He has been looking into Lou's case. Cole thinks it might be linked to some fires he's investigating. You look pale, Doctor.
It's cold in here, Elsa. I think I'll close the window.
That's a door, not a window.
Why are you looking at me like that, Elsa?
You arranged for Lou to work at Elysian Fields, Doctor.
Your fears are unfounded.
This is the sound of Elsa's brain putting things together in her mind.
There are many ways that people can be helped. Finding them work is just one of them.
I don't believe you, Doctor. I've seen you with Monroe at the club.
I'm sorry that you have come to that conclusion, Elsa.
No injection like last time, just a straight up beating.
I've always so enjoyed our conversations. I can see your future, Elsa. And Cole, the policeman. And Jack, the investigator. It's an unfortunate and grisly end.
That comes out of nowhere, but it's not
I've come to help you, Doctor.
unwarranted.
To help you cross over. All your sins will be forgiven. The next line.
This man is actually very important to the case at hand, with the cover-ups, the fires, all of it. Although I don't know even he realizes the extent to his involvement in the actual cases.
It's got to be one of these places.
And now we're back to the real protagonist of the game, Jack Kelso.
It's a bug sprayer. He must have worked at one of these joints.
So at the end of the last case, we learned that the arsonist from Cole's arson desk is a bug sprayer, and that arsonist is linked to the Elysian Fields fires and the Great Conspiracy that we've uncovered. So Jack is looking at exterminators to see if he can find an employee that matches the description of our firebug, our arsonist.
Son, you're a couple of slates short of a full.
Help you?
How many guys you have working here, Pop?
Who's asking, son?
It could be official or unofficial. Depends on how you want to play it.
You should get to a hospital, son. That arm of yours appears to be letting in daylight.
Save the pity for the other guys. They're the ones who need it. I'm looking for a big cowboy who works pest control. Does he work here?
We don't have anyone like that here.
You sure? I'm not the type of guy you want coming back.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And a newspaper. Crusade Against Corruption. Peterson pledges to clean up LAPD.
What have you got?
Looks like a drug overdose.
Get away from him, Phelps. This is my case.
Shut your fucking mouth! Since when does a bagman work a case?
I knew this creep wasn't on the morphine heist. Victim of his own product.
Hey, detective! Can we back it off a notch? This is getting out of hand.
A time to talk and a time to shut up. Now is the time to be quiet, son.
Courtney Sheldon was a corpsman, Roy. He served his country. He went out with a medical kit and an Army 45 into places that made the Valley of Death look like a picnic. He was either naive enough or dumb enough to get involved in the Suburban Redevelopment Fund, along with the mayor, the DA, Monroe, and a certain crooked cop. He was involved in the morphine heist, but he has a puncture wound in his jugular, which makes this a murder case. He was a better man than you'll ever know. You say one more word about him and I will blow your fucking head off!
You finally lost it, partner.
I have a pretty good idea why Sheldon's dead. And I know about Monroe. Your vast, corrupt future is draining away as we speak.
I got better things to do than argue the rub with you.
Stay with him until the coroner gets here. Make sure technical services bags the evidence. If you let this creep anywhere near it, I'll come looking for you.
Yes, sir.
You know, Phelps, you're not the worst asshole going around.
Thanks, Herschel.
So, Courtney Sheldon was killed by the psychiatrist that we just saw get choked. And that is Cole Phelps's more or less reaction to all of that going on in his life. Because Sheldon was linked to Elysian Fields and the Suburban Redevelopment Fund and the arson fires, even if he wasn't aware of it, because the morphine he used, the morphine he sold to the doctor was enough to get him as part of the board of directors for the project. He didn't know, but when he asked questions, then the doctor killed him.
Welcome to Nuclear. What can I do you for?
I work for the DA. I need to speak with an exterminator, big guy with a cowboy accent.
We have only 3 people work here. Me and 2 Mexicans. They're both on the scrawny side.
Thanks for your help.
Perfect. We got one last place to look. Let's go down the list. I'm not the kind of guy you want coming back. Jack Kelso is it's pretty hardcore. Pretty hardcore. You know, for a guy in a suit.
I work for the DA. I'm looking for a big cowboy, does extermination. Anyone like that working here?
Well, I wouldn't want to get anyone into any trouble.
We could do this the hard way. An address?
Yeah, he lives in a bunkhouse on the remains of the old Rancho Rincon.
Thanks.
Now we got an address. And this is the final time we'll ever play as Cole Phelps in the game.
Cole, you made it.
What's this got to do with me, Rusty?
Dr. Fontaine, prominent shrink, dead in his patient's room. Spine snapped like a twig. The suspect is one of his mental patients.
I've met Fontaine.
His last patient was Elsa Lichtman, Cole. She's missing. Nurse said that she saw some big Boris Karloff type carry her out of here.
The best thing that you can do to help me, Rusty, is let me take a look around.
Sure thing, Cole. This way.
For once, Rusty is not being an ass and just letting us do our fucking job. He's got his moments. He's not He's not as corrupt and evil as Royal. He's just lazy and stupid.
Take your time. I'll give you and the doctor some privacy.
Good doctor has been marking this map.
Let's see what this newspaper says. Face of progress, says mayor developer.
That goddamn pet lunatic of yours is burning down our houses.
Keep your voice down, Leland. Control is of the essence.
Keep your voice down. Do you know how much these sons of bitches charge for lunch? Fuck them.
Leland, we will not solve our problems by announcing them to the general public. We only speed ourselves on our way to the gallows.
He's your imbecile, Harlan. Get him under control or get rid of him.
Speaking of which, I've had to dispose of our young medical student.
What? Certainly are a cold character, Harlan.
He has a friend called Kelso who knows all about the development on Normandy Avenue.
I know about Kelso.
And you thought it unimportant to inform me.
I thought I could take care of it.
And have you?
No, I haven't.
Kelso works for Benson. Is he reliable?
No, he's totally unreliable. But he has so many pernicious habits, he's got nowhere to run.
Can you take care of Kelso?
Don't push me, Harlan. Get rid of the fruitcake. No longer necessary. I'll take care of Jeff Kelso.
And so this firebug is now burning homes that they don't want burned. A lighter. Cool. Now let's examine your face.
Destroyed by a monster of your own creation, Dr. Fontaine. I've heard that story somewhere before.
Nice reference to Frankenstein, Cole. Nice reference. We get it. You read books. Happy for you.
So much for your foresight, Doctor. Fontaine was having houses burned for Monroe.
Yep. Fontaine provided the firebug.
Monroe wasn't happy. People started dying and it attracted attention. And the doctor lost control.
So, yeah. The subject is someone who came home from the war, and he was helping, and Doctor was, in theory, supposed to help him with his PTSD, and then that resulted in him using the poor man's ailments to control him and get him to burn houses for him. So that is one of Fontaine's sins. Yeah, one of many is right. The Doctor is done a lot of terrible things to a lot of people.
McCarthy Vista, Arson Heights, Rancho Escondido. Do those names mean anything to you, Herschel?
Yeah. How come?
They're all places that have had houses burned down.
New houses all being built in the path of the freeway?
There you go. So that does give us some information. I guess we still have some investigating to do in this room. But this is the part where the whole plot is revealed. There's still some more stuff to see in the actual house. I'm not sure what is left to look at. Yeah, this is the final case of the game. So yeah, this is where the story finally starts getting fully revealed. Must be the place the doctor spaces down to talk to them for their appointments. Oh, here's some...
Not sure this means much.
Guess his practice is also his house. So why did he come from this way? Is there a trail we can follow? Oh, what's this? That's nothing, I guess. What does the trail of leaves take us to? If anywhere. Let me double check what the last clue is. The morphine cabinet. Okay, that's it. That's what I'm missing. But where is the morphine cabinet? Let me take a look. Head out of the room into the hallway you came from. Use the medical cabinet and examine it. Okay. Oh, here we go.
Looks like Fontaine has finally dispensed his last.
So that's remains of the army surplus morphine.
Jack was wrong. It's not about insurance, it's about eminent domain.
What are you talking about, Cole?
The government reclaims the land in the path of the freeway and pays the improved value of the land with the new houses sitting on it.
What about the stiffs who paid their deposits?
Worst case, they get their money back. But the syndicate pockets millions on the improved value of the land.
So where does Jack's boss come into it?
He's the key. He carries the insurance. The insurance proves how much the houses are worth.
And they're worth nothing?
Firewood, all of them.
That's about as neat a scam as you can imagine. How are we going to prove any of this, Cole? Doctor's dead. Monroe nearly bled to death. If they get Jack...
We need the firebug. The Okie cowboy. Get him, get Elsa. Get him, get all of them.
So, to fully summarize the conspiracy, there are a bunch of homes that are sitting along the road to or the path of the new freeway being developed in LA. There's a new freeway being developed in LA. There's a series of homes that are all along the path of property that would be seized to build that freeway. So the conspiracy tries to buy out these homes on the cheap so that the residents leave and they own that property. Then they burn those houses to the ground. Just torch them. And using the money from the GI Bill, which is a real-life policy that was passed post-World War II to help returning veterans buy homes for their families. They build these homes for veterans and sell them to those veterans for an improved value. But those homes are made of lower quality materials, of like studio lumber, poor concrete, brick that's not even mortared properly, and so these homes are essentially unlivable homes. But the insurance company has given them a value that is higher than the value that they were purchased on. So they get money from the GI Bill. They get money from the veterans who are purchasing these homes. And then when the freeway comes, those properties will be seized by eminent domain. And they will be given value equal to their improved value when the houses are worth next to nothing. And so they're getting money from the GI Bill, from the returning veterans, from the insurance for the burned homes. And all of this is going directly into the pockets of these, 6 or 7 wealthy donors. And none of it is going to the actual people who that GI Bill was intended to serve. And it's all being taken from the government pockets into these 6 or 7 people that all have a purpose. Leland Monroe creates the houses and seizes the original houses. The insurance company kind of passes on the value. Leland Monroe, Dr. Fontaine provides the firebug in the form of one of his PTSD patients and manipulates that patient into doing the fires for them. The chief of police and the DA are the cover-up people who will make sure all of this is not investigated by the police, and the guy from the Times is there to provide to make sure that this stays out of the press so that they can go relatively unmolested in their scheme. However, this started to break down on the Sawyer fire, because the Sawyer fire is the one where a whole family died, because the way the scheme was supposed to work is that they were supposed to give them a vacation weekend getaway, and after they got home, they come to their houses being burned down. But since the child got sick and couldn't go, the burning happened, but the family was still in the home, and that broke the PTSD guy who was manipulated into doing the fires. So this guy is now a broken mess because he was told that there was no one in the house, but there was a whole family there, and they burned to death by his hand. And so now we are after the same firebug so that we can hopefully get him to not testify, to provide some evidence of what's going on, so that we can tie up this case nice and neatly and end the conspiracy. So that is the complete summation of the plot. And this ties to the Vice desk because the morphine heist that Courtney Sheldon executed, the funds of that ultimately go into this same project. Whether or not he didn't intend it to, that's just the way that it was dealt, because he was also manipulated by Dr. Fontaine, who ends up being one of the biggest baddies
Nobody's home
in this conspiracy. And now we are breaking into the home of this firebug so we can hopefully get him to testify, or else find some proof of the wrongdoing, so that we can...
Most guys bring home a 45 or an M1. This is pretty extreme.
So there's a flamethrower. Or we can bring him in to get him to testify against the conspiracy, or find some evidence that links him to the conspiracy and to the plot as a whole, so that we can bring these guys in. A bar. And it's worth going over that, because there is a good chance that someone could be lost while we're talking about this plot, because there was a lot involved, and it took me a couple of runs to really understand the entire scope of what was going on in the story. There's a lot going on in the game. So these origami somewhat imply that this guy is a World War II veteran.
Quite a flock you got here, kid. The river tunnels. This guy's a tunnel rat.
Remember what we said earlier, that
a strange obsession.
There's a story that if you fold 1,000 origami paper cranes, you get a wish.
I know those faces. Jesus Christ, I know every one of them. Oh my God, Ira. You poor backwards son of a bitch.
So that is the big reveal, is that the firebug is another one of the old World War II buddies.
Peterson, I'm going to need some help. I've got Monroe, Fontaine, and all the others. It's all tied up nicely. It goes all the way to the top. Meet me at the LA River Tunnel entrance just north of the 1st Street Bridge in half an hour. Don't ask questions. Just be there. This is DA's investigator Jack Kelso. I have an urgent radio message for Detective Cole Phelps.
So we got most of the clues in the game. That's pretty good.
Go ahead, KGPL.
11K, see the man. A 207 just occurred on the spillway north of the 1st Street Bridge. DA's investigator Jack Kelso reports a kidnapping suspect outstanding in the LA River tunnel system with a hostage. 11K, handle
Roger
code
that.
3.
The hell is Jack playing at? Like a suicide note. Half the LAPD will be down there hunting for him.
We need to get there first.
All units on all frequencies stand by. Car 86 Adam is in pursuit of suspect vehicle heading southwest on Sunset Boulevard. Suspect vehicle belonging to Jack Kelso, described as a Navy Chevrolet Fleetline. License number 4, William 0286. Car 86 Adam is in pursuit.
I picked up his car. He'll need help to make it to the river.
So now we had to make sure that Kelso gets to where he's going unmolested.
That's Kelso's car.
So now we gotta catch up and...
Reports that the suspect is armed and extremely dangerous. Repeat, extremely dangerous. Suspect vehicle to be disabled immediately. If necessary, use of deadly force is authorized.
All units, suspect vehicle headed west on 5th Street. Repeat, the Chevy Fleet Line navy blue, westbound on 5th Street.
So now we have to take out our fellow officers in order to make sure that Jack makes it to his destination.
All units, we have a new suspect vehicle. It is shop number 13516. Repeating, shop
Back down, boy!
13516 is a second suspect vehicle, described as a green Hudson Commodore, license 3 Sam 0102, reported to be aiding suspect Jack Kelso. Use caution and continue pursuit. All units, stand by for further. All units,
Yep.
suspect vehicle sighted heading northeast toward 3rd Street on the embankment between 3rd and 4th.
All units, suspect vehicle is now northbound on Los Angeles, passing...
Yep, that's us.
Car 66 Adam, 77 Adam, go to 1st and Alameda.
Back down!
William, go to 1st and Vignes. Repeat, 1st and Vignes. Units to handle, identify code 3.
Jesus Christ. How many cops do these guys own?
The whole LAPD, Herschel, aside from you two. That many cops.
Second suspect vehicle, shop 13516. Chief Worrell has authorized the use of deadly force.
Jesus Christ.
Use of deadly force is authorized in disabling both suspect vehicles.
You could drive faster, Kelso. A hell of a lot faster. And again, looks like the cops are having a hard time catching up with us. So maybe we're fine. There is a huge wreck in the road, so... maybe the AI just can't keep up. I've never seen this happen before. I've never seen it just, like... just be fine. This is weird. I'm very much used to having much more resistance than this.
Who is this guy? Peterson, assistant DA.
What's he doing?
He's here to cover our backs.
I'm going in there, Jack.
No one's trying to stop you. I found this at the ranch house. He's marked his routes. I'll go in here. Cole, you take the next entrance. Biggs, I need you to take the car and cover this spot here. I think that's his fail-safe exit. Cole, he's one of ours.
What are you talking about?
Right where you are!
Got it?
Got it.
Peterson, you want to be DA? We'll earn your salt.
So, Kelso is your boy, Peterson? And working with Phelps? A handy lad, that Kelso.
Yes, he is, Chief. You can't imagine what those two have uncovered. It could go all the way to the top. I hope you won't be implicated.
So, you're the new broom, Peterson?
Looks like it.
And you think he'll make it out of there alive?
I think he might. He's a difficult boy to get rid of.
All right, Peterson. I'm listening. What's your offer?
There's a little seed for you. What's your offer? Alright, boys. Time to die. How long do you think you can hold out?
I got him! The son of a bitch is limping! Yeah.
Drop your weapon. just stay down. That's fine. That look suits you.
Throw out the guns.
Oh, I guess we're going this way. That's cool. Or no. No, not this way. Kelso, not this way. Not this way. This way.
Eyes open. He's around here somewhere.
You want me? You got it.
I'm warning you, buddy. Resistance is futile. They don't stand a chance. Ooh. That's a good armory over there. Don't really need it, though. We're doing fine. And down you go. The shooting in this game really isn't that hard once you get the hang of it.
As soon as he pokes his head out, we'll step on him. There! Somebody killed that son of a bitch, will ya?
How long?
I don't see anybody. Where are all the actual, like, gunmen? Okay, here we go.
Throw out the guns.
Throw out the guns, dude. Oh, are you both down? Awesome. Hey, dude. You should stay down. It suits you. Oh no! Shit! That's bad. No, I didn't want to get this. This is bad. So the flamethrower has limited ammo, but its reach is shit, so you really don't actually want to pick it up. I didn't realize it was in that room. Like, I can't reach those guys because I have a flamethrower now. So I kind of just have to run and hope I make it. Because I don't have any actual way of defending myself. There we go. Perfect. I don't have the flamethrower anymore, so I can just not go in that room and I'm good.
You want me? You got it.
Alright, so gotta remember not to get in that room. Alright, takes care of that problem.
This is what I'm good at.
As soon as he pokes his head out, we step on him.
take your gun instead. We will avoid that room because the flamethrower is not something you actually want to pick up. It feels like it should be the big end game weapon, but don't ever actually equip it.
You can walk out of here or go out in a box.
Honestly, your pistol is better than the flamethrower. I love that you move faster with your gun, with aiming your gun, than you do, where am I supposed to go? Oh, there we go. There's a ladder. Love that you move faster with your gun aimed than you do actually moving, like, default when the water is going. Like, they didn't actually change animate the walking speed of your aimed shot. So now he can just climb up and it's fine. One S, 1K. Alright, so let's keep going. We are approaching the end of the game. This is the final stretch.
Going, Jack.
I lost my hat somewhere along the way, but that's fine. Alright, now, where do I go from here? This way, I think.
Are you okay, Princess?
I felt better. He saved me from the doctor.
Hi, Tex. Do you remember me?
I'm not sure that I do. Have you come here to kill her?
Why would I do that, soldier?
Isn't that why you're all here?
I'm here to get her out.
Her. But not me. You haven't come for me.
No, not you. It ends here.
You were with the 6th on Sugarloaf, weren't you?
I was?
And Naha?
Yes, I was.
You're Sergeant Jack Kelso, aren't you? Where's your uniform, Sarge?
At home in my locker, Hogaboom. War's over, soldier.
I know that, Sarge. I'm fighting a different kind of war. I fight for God now.
We all fight for God, Ira.
In our own ways. Not everyone knows it.
Elsa! Are you all right? Get away from her! It's all right, Cole. He doesn't want to hurt her. Ira was with us on Okinawa.
What? You know this guy? Don't you remember me, Lieutenant? I remember you.
No, I don't.
So, to clarify, I said earlier in a previous stream that Cole Phelps ordered a Japanese field hospital burned and all the people there executed back when he was lieutenant in the war. Ira is the person who he ordered to burn the village down. It's the cause of his PTSD was Cole Phelps' order. And that was what made him vulnerable enough to Harlan Fontaine's suggestions that he started burning down the homes. And he did so in order to kind of try to find a way to make up for burning down a bunch of innocent people. And then the Sora family burned alive in one of his fires. So this guy's problems are by and large Cole Phelps' fault. Cole Phelps is mostly responsible for the PTSD that this guy suffers and got exacerbated by Fontaine to this day. So when Cole Phelps comes in and sees this guy and doesn't recognize him, that's kind of telling. He didn't recognize the guy who he literally ordered to burn down an entire hospital full of innocent people. Yeah, Cole Phelps is an asshole. Cole Phelps is an irredeemable piece of shit. You're right, Steve.
Ordered me to burn that cave, Lieutenant. That cave full of civilians. A hospital.
What is he talking about?
It was war. For God's sake, I can't be held responsible for everything that happened.
I don't blame you, Lieutenant. You helped me to help other people.
Ira lost his mind on Okinawa, Princess.
Sheldon asked the doctor to help him get it back.
The doctor helped me to find my path. And I helped him to a better life.
Elsa's going to leave now, Ira. She will be all right. You've helped her, too. Get her out of here. Biggs will help. His exit is nearby.
Jack, I need this guy to make the case.
Hasn't this poor bastard given you enough? Get out of here now!
For God's sake, Jack, what are you going to do?
Don't cry, miss. Sergeant Kelso has come to help ease my way. I was proud to serve with you, Jack.
Get out of here, Cole!
And Elsa... Yeah, that was the only thing that could really happen.
What do we do, Lieutenant? Jesus, look at all the kids! Stop the goddamn screaming! I need to think!
And how do you expect to do that, you fucking maniac? They're burned to a crisp.
Finish them off. Do it humanely. We are leaving this place.
You do it, Phelps. Get your own fucking hands dirty. I'm out of morphine.
Put these people out of their pain. Now! That's an order!
Courtney Sheldon shooting Cole Phelps probably the best thing he could ever do.
Everyone out of here now. Double time! You two get Lieutenant Phelps to an aid station. Weapons team will be blowing this place in 2 minutes.
Courtney Sheldon has never liked Cole Phelps, so this is what broke him.
I don't want to ever hear another word about it.
Courtney Sheldon has never liked Cole Phelps, but this is what really set him over the edge. Was this event. It is kind of weird to see this scene right after we learned about it. This is not something that should happen. So that was the death of Cole Phelps. Cole Phelps is now deceased. This is his funeral.
We're gathered here to honor Detective Cole Phelps.
And of course, Roy Earl is the one giving the eulogy.
Cole Phelps was the best kind of man. Hear, hear. A war hero who led his men with true valor. And through his personal bravery achieved one of his country's highest honors.
Yeah, the gross of the scene is intentional.
Wrongly accused. Who never lost his faith in the LAPD and the system.
Fine. You belittle his memory.
Elsa.
Get out of my way, Jack. You call yourself his friend.
A detective who fought to expose the evil corruption of the murderous Dr. Fontaine and the rapacious property tycoon Leyland Monroe. Go to her. Will you, Herschel? A reformer.
You
Who
were never his
recognized
friend,
the need
Jack.
to remove the odd bad apple from a department right. made up of good men. Herschel? A man who never gave up.
Yeah, Jack.
Who continued never to his fight enemy.
the
good fight.
I think you knew that, Jack.
The fight that cost him his own life.
So this is how the game ends, mostly. The LAPD...
A good husband. A good father.
And the Vice Desk cut a deal with Peterson so that they wouldn't be implicated in the conspiracy.
A good friend.
But they left the other members out to dry. This is how the game ends, is with half of the conspiracy members just not getting punished because they cut a deal. Which, in a way, I guess is somewhat appropriate, because that is probably how that would end in real life. If something like this were to happen, it would just get covered up, and the world would move on. It is very deliberate that they have Roy Earl deliver the speech, just to kind of rub it in your face that that despite how much Roy Earl was trying to, that Cole Phelps was trying to expose everyone, in the end, the world marches on, and in true noir or LA fashion, the real people who are behind everything just kind of move on to the next big conspiracy. With Ira dead, there's not enough evidence to convict the police in this matter. But with Fontaine dead, with Courtney Sheldon dead, and with the evidence against Leyland kind of mounting, it's easy to throw him under the bus and kind of protect the LAPD. So the big thing here is that Peterson, despite wanting to clean up the vice desk, is just as bought and corrupt as the rest of them, and is willing to make a deal if it means getting ahead in some way. And I assume that he is now somehow the actual DA, not the assistant DA. I assume he got moved up ahead as reward for dealing, or for making that deal and not implicating the LAPD directly. Which I don't know, that's not a thing. This attorney is an elected position. It's not really something that you can get promoted to. You have to actually win an election and become district attorney. Although I guess most DAs in the country go unopposed, so I suppose it's not out of the question that you could buy the position. But in theory, you should have an election for the DA. It's just most people don't care about the DA as a position, so most people don't bother voting for it. Which sucks. It's also another reality. And you're right, it is kind of lame. But I think, I was kind of dour on the game a little bit when I started, but the more I think about it, the more now that I've replayed it, the more I think that's actually inappropriate. And I know Alexandria in her post in Kaku kind of talks a bit about how this is actually a fairly appropriate end to this story. Because the LAPD is corrupt. It's that's the nature of the beast. Who wants realism? I know. I'm also in the camp that likes my epic fantasy stories, but I like a lot of different stories, and I'm okay with the story that ends in it doesn't have a happy ending, as long as it ends in an ending that kind of ties everything up all together. And this game does tie things up. Like, there is no lingering plot thread left, and despite the poor working conditions that Team Bond Guy are kind of infamous for at this point, now that they've shut down, it is a pretty good story, actually, generally speaking. Although you don't really get the noir part of LA Noire until the end, when Jack Kelso becomes a playable character. But there is, I'd say probably aside from the homicide desk, there is a purpose. Well, even the homicide desk has a purpose to it. Like with patrol and traffic, we're introduced patrol to the gameplay of LA Noire. So that desk is required just so we know how to play the game. And traffic kind of introduces us to the world of the LAPD and the cast of characters that we will be coming in contact with regularly throughout the game, like Mr. Wrath of God, who holds the homicide desk, and that's the LAPD culture as a whole. Homicide starts to explore the darker aspects of the culture with Rusty, how some of the officers, or most of the officers, are kind of lazy or inept in some way. And then it ends with that whole cover-up with the Black Dahlia killer, who because his cousin is a high-ranking politician in Washington, he gets to have his true name or his identity as the killer kind of shrouded in mystery for the rest of time. And then we go to the Vice Desk, and I talked about this during the last post. In the Vice Desk, we take that angle of corruption and the ability to buy the LAPD or influence them with money or political favors. And that is turned up to 11 in the Vice Desk with Royale as your partner, who is the most outward, overt expression of racism, sexism, and corruption that the LAPD is kind of, from this time period, infamous for. The LAPD of this in this time in history was about as corrupt as the game kind of pictures them as. Like that's a pretty famous time in history for that police department, where they were very overtly and explicitly corrupt, and it was hard, and everyone kind of knew it was mostly an open secret where everyone knew but no one really acknowledged it. And that leads to Cole being disgraced and moved down into Arson, which is where like the true, I guess the Queen of Quotes true story of LA Noire can begin in earnest. But all those cases before that serve as a strong build-up to that, with the Vice Desk and the morphine case linking directly to the arsons through Courtney Sheldon and Harlan Fontaine, who is one of the big bad guys in the game. And then again, it's worth noting that despite the LAPD as a whole being protected, but that we don't see Roy Earl get any punishment. We don't see the chief of police get punishment for their part in the conspiracy. Layla Monroe, I presume the guy at California Fire and Life, Mr. Carlson, or Mr. whatever his name is, Harlan Fontaine, all three of these people get punished severely for their hand in the conspiracy. I know Harlan and the Fire and Life guy get arrested, and Fontaine gets killed by his own creation, Frankenstein style. And we also get elements of how veterans were disrespected with Ira and that whole plot line, and Cole Phelps and that whole plot line, and the whole suburban conspiracy as a whole. There's a lot to this game, and the more I think about it, the more impressed I almost am, or I would be if, again, this game was made under better labor conditions, which does kind of cheapen the game in a way. Like, this game is like, it's hard to think about this game without thinking of the abuse that Brendan McNamara hurled at his employees throughout the entire development process. You can't really separate the two. So, on some level, everything I'm saying is tinged by that. As impressed as I am with the quality of the game, I don't know if it was worth it. I'm going to take that back. It was not worth the toll it took on the people who developed it at all. And I would even go so far as to say that a lot of the facial capture stuff is kind of superfluous. It did have I suppose some value in terms of technology, but and this was pre-Telltale, so it was an adventure game that was well known and well played before the Telltale Renaissance really kicked off. This is, at the end of the day, this is an adventure game. This is a point and click adventure, just in a 3D space, an open world space. But what it does with its mechanics, it does not great, but there's something here that you could point to.
How about this for a headline? Guess which former 6th Marine hero has been promoted in the LAPD?
No idea.
Well, could be anybody.
You give up?
Tell us or hand over the fucking paper.
The Shadow, boys. Our very own Silver Star winning son of a bitch.
Phelps?
He didn't die, Jack.
He did just fine, and that's all we're going to say about it, right?
The one and only. Look at this picture. Golden boy getting his badge, wife and kids in tow, and looking awful humble in the process.
Well, he's set.
Phony bastard.
I wonder if they've been holding my job for me after all this time.
What job was that?
Mechanic.
Ain't you seen all the war bond movies, Sarge? All the best mechanics is women. You're gonna have to work as a gigolo from here on in.
I was a bus driver in Santa Cruz. You know, no pictures in the papers or medals for me, though.
Can't believe I just went through Petaloo and Okinawa just to go back to being a washing machine mechanic.
How is it that jerks like Phelps get it all?
It doesn't have to be that way, guys.
What are you talking about? It's always gonna be that way.
Do you have any idea what you guys are sitting on?
Yeah, a ship full of Army surplus.
You're sitting on surplus morphine. 2 tons of it. Can you imagine what that's worth on the streets? Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
You're shitting me.
I'm not.
You're talking about stealing it?
Keep your voice down. Do you want to have us all thrown in the brig?
God damn it, Sheldon. You want to go into the dope business?
No. I want to be in the peace dividend business.
What is that supposed to mean?
It means I want the guys who fought for a better future to get some share of it. You interested, Jack?
Come on, Top. We could all get out from under.
Oh, it's the chance of our lives.
It's everyone or no one, boys.
I'm not having a bar of it, Courtney. You may be the bravest person I have ever met, but I swear to God, trouble follows you around like a pet fucking dog. I thought you wanted to try for medical school.
So what do you want, Jack? What's the future got in store for you?
You guys were all heroes in the war. Every single one of you. Even if your next door neighbor or your wife never know it and don't give a rat's ass. Fuck Phelps and medals and citations and parades. Fuck the public who are bored with returning GIs. I have nothing but respect for what you guys and the rest of the 6th have done. You go through with this, and you'll be nothing to me.
I do question why that is the visual they leave us with. Because by the time we see that cutscene, we know the entirety of the Coolidge heist. That happened all the way back in the Vice desk. I guess the thing it does kind of reveal is that it was motivated by jealousy towards Cole Phelps, more or less. Cole Phelps' success as an LAPD officer, overshadowing the return of the GIs, and kind of rubbing in their faces in a way. In a way, almost everything that happens in the game comes back to Cole and his decisions in the war and how they affected the people that he commanded. Which is an interesting kind of poetic irony, and I guess that's ultimately why the game chose to kill him off in the final scene, because ultimately most of what happened with the morphine heist and the advice can be traced back to bitter feelings that he left with people in the war, and in the case of the Arson desk, the PTSD that he gave Ira through that order is directly responsible for his vulnerabilities that Fontaine can manipulate and cause the Arson desk to happen. But I'm going to leave you with that. Turns out I did give just enough time to finish the game before one normal ending. I'm going to be off next week because I have to be available for work. I'm the on call. But next week after, we will be starting something new. I'm going to have to talk to a friend of mine to see if he's also game for it. But if he is, then we will have a new game for you on Sunday 2 weeks from now. And I'm excited to bring it to you. With that said, I am Brandon Carey. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being detectives with me, everyone in the chat who joined me throughout this, everyone who watched this on YouTube after the fact. I appreciate all of you. You're all great people. And have a good night.